Getting back to the sermon delivered by the president of the Seventh-day Adventist General Conference on the 59th session by Ted Wilson. I have quoted in one of the videos where he made this statement, and I quote it again. The historic beliefs of the Seventh-day Adventist Church will not be moved, end quote. Now then, you can go through almost every one of his videos, and he would talk about the pillars of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, one of the pillars being the three angels message of Revelation 14. I have several sermons up on the two different three angel messages that has been preached by the Seventh-day Adventist organization. You can see a lot more about that in those videos. Uh, what the president is not saying is which three angels message is he preaching. If he's talking about going back to the historical beliefs of the Seventh-day Adventist not being moved, then he's not preaching the same three angel message that was preached by the early pioneers of the Seventh-day Adventist organization. He is preaching an invented message that came about after the failed prophecies of William Miller and Ellen G. White. If you haven't read it, you can find it in early writings of Ellen White, where she says, I saw, this is pertaining to the chart of William Miller, that the chart of William Miller was right. It was ordained or moved by the hand of God, and that it should not be changed. In other words, she says, I see this chart, it's right, and nothing on it should be changed. She goes on to say that God's hand hit a mistake. Rather than Jesus coming back in 1843, he's coming back in 1844. So she is pertaining to the chart of William Miller. And remember, she saw everything on that chart was right, and the three angels message is on that chart. So she's endorsing the first three angels message that was preached. She said she saw that it was right and it should not be changed or altered in any way. Now then, that first three angels message came off of failed predictions of William Miller. He set about to predict the return of Jesus Christ. He showed this elaborate chart. He showed the three angels message out of Revelation 14, and it all failed. The first question I have to ask any Seventh-day Adventist is, what is Ellen White even doing dabbling in date setting, or even involved with someone who is date setting when the Bible says no one knows when Jesus Christ is going to come back? But anyway, she endorses this first chart and says nothing should be changed. Here's what the Seventh-day Adventist organization is not telling its people. See, this shows not only the false teachings of Ellen White, but the failed predictions of Ellen White as well. The first three angels' message was simply this, that was preached by the pioneers. Judgment has come. Jesus Christ is coming back and judgment has come. Babylon has fallen pertained to the Protestant churches of those times, the apostate Protestant churches of those times, not the Roman Catholic Church, because the Roman Catholic Church was considered by them to have already been fallen. So it pertained to the Protestant churches of those times. Why had they fallen? Because they had rejected this date-setting business. So the part of that was the Babylon has fallen, pertaining to the apostate Protestant churches. The final part of it was the everlasting gospel has been preached. That is what Ellen White endorsed. That's what she said. I saw that all of this was right, but she was wrong. So then, now the three angel message changes to the one they're preaching today. Investigative judgment did not come about as a doctrine of the Seventh-day Adventist organization until 13 years after 1844. So it was invented to cover up for the false teachings of Ellen White. So the second three angel message now is judgment has come, which pertains to investigative judgment. Babylon has fallen now pertains to the Protestant churches and once again the Roman Catholic Church. And the everlasting gospel being preached. And they add in there the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day now becomes a part of the second three angel message. So you have the investigative judgment that was never originally a part of the three angels message. You have the Sabbath that is added to it now that was never a part of the first three angels message, and the mark of the beast being added to that as well. So the entire three angel message that Ellen White said she saw was right was changed by the Seventh-day Adventist organization to where they are preaching the second three angel messages now. Is that the one you're referring to, Mr. Wilson, when you say the historical beliefs of the Seventh-day Adventist Church will not be moved? Seems like they've already moved around a good bit to me. Why don't you tell them which three angel message you're referring to? Are you referring to the first three angel message, or are you referring to the second three angel message? Because there's a world of difference between the two. One, the first three angel message was endorsed by Ellen White, showing she was a false teacher and did not know what she was talking about. In order to cover up for the failed prophecies and all these false teachings, then it was changed to where the Seventh-day Adventists are now preaching the second three angels message, which includes investigative judgment, the mark of the beast, the Sabbath, and the Babylon is falling. Once again, the Catholic Church is added back to it, and the Protestants are added to it. So is that the historical beliefs that you're talking about going back to? You're not being honest with the members of the Seventh-day Adventist organization if you do not tell them, listen, we are preaching the second three angel message today because Ellen White was wrong about the first three angel message. it never came about, and now we've had to change it. Prove me wrong, Seventh-day Adventist. Now, either this man is being deceptive, he doesn't know the own history of his organization, or he's covering for the false teachings of Ellen White 1. I challenge any Seventh-day Adventist to prove me wrong, because every one of them that I find on YouTube are preaching the second three angels message. Every website I find with a three angel message on it is the second three angel message, and not a one of them is honest enough to say the first three angel message endorsed by Ellen White that she said was right was wrong. We've had to change it now, and now we're preaching the second three angel message, which is just as wrong as the first one. They never should have been involved in the date setting business to begin with. I want you to tell you people the truth, Mr. Wilson. Which three angel message are you referring to when you keep saying it over and over in your sermon? Until next time, this has been God is saying, God bless.